Buenos dias. I had to get a standing moon because our moon quit. Said, I'm not doing this anymore. Not really. The moon said, you owe me. What are you talking about? You owe me. You've shown me up. You've been throwing me about. Said, you owe me. I want to make a good entrance on the next time we go up. I went, oh. Notice we've got the sun there as well. I went, all right, moon, you got it. And there he comes, look. So he's back. He's back. Now, what are we doing today? As you can see, we've got some stuff up there. I do believe I am going to follow through. Not like that. With the common sense versus the science. Why wouldn't I? Come this far, I've been thinking about this one, and I have decided to go ahead. Science doesn't care about your common sense. So we're going to listen to Mr. Tyson, and then I will put my common sense against science, and then see if Mr. Tyson has, because I haven't heard from either of the camps. So I haven't come this far to not follow through, basically. Right, I'm going to pause this. Let me just get this place ready. All right, don't go away. Okay, so we are back. So there is a small chance that the moon could come at me from up there, and an even more likely chance that this it's only wrapped around with fishing line twice. Boop, boop. So there's always a chance. What do we have here? Well, as this is the science versus common sense, I've gone for the tide, okay? The tides, the moon, sun, the bulge. What we have here, on my tide chart, I have the 2nd of Jan, but I started on the 3rd of January because of the full moon was on the 3rd. And the other one was the 2nd of July, and I started on the 3rd. But for this exercise, I've gone back to the 30th of June, because that is when we had the full moon. So instead of the 2nd of July or 3rd, a couple of days before. 2026, June. Full moon here in Bundy, or everywhere else as well. These are our tides. So this will be number 1. Here's number 2. And this will be the 3rd quarter. All right, just the way it started. Full moon, 3rd quarter. And we'll come down to here. Number 3. And this is the new moon position. And we will finish off in the 1st quarter after the new moon. So technically we could have started with the new moon and then, but it was closer to the 2nd and the 3rd of July. Okay. Here I've got this, we are stuck with language from our own perspective rather than language of what's actually happening. I have questions on this because this is logic, common sense, having, just trying to, not trying to be awkward, but trying to understand, okay? Now let's listen to Neil, and I will stop when I think common sense has something to say, right? Not meaning to be awkward. I am following through on everything that I have been saying, okay? Okay.
What happens is there is a bulge of water, 2 of them on opposite sides of the Earth, caused by the sun and the moon. And Earth turns inside that bulge. Mm-hmm. So when we say the water rises and falls tidally, what's happening is we are rotating into the bulge and then out of the bulge.
So the bulge is already there.
It's already there.
And see, now, they're talking about the bulge, and I'm not seeing a bulge for a couple of reasons. The first one, as we all know, is the 4 highest tides, right, are all way up north. So we have the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, we have Ungava Bay in Quebec, we have the Bristol Channel in the UK, and we have the Cook Inlet in Alaska. Now, they're so far away from the equator that one must put one's hand up and say, kind of defies logic and common sense. Not to mention that we have the 5th highest, and that's down in Los Gallegos, in southern Argentina. Hey, mate. So we've got 5 highest tides, but they're talking about this bulge, Earth spinning into a bulge of water. And then we have the fact that there is hardly any action along the equator, and that other one, which kind of is a spanner in the works. When the tide comes in, we get that slack water period, right? It can last for anywhere between 5 minutes and an hour. How? Oh, and then when it drops, it goes back the same way it came in. So there's quite a couple of good reasons. I seriously question the bulge, okay? So I just wanted to add that one in. And there'll be a few stops. It'll be like the main line to Piccadilly Circus from somewhere like Euston Station or something. That's just a guess. So we'll be stopping at all stations, okay?
All we kind of do is pass through the
pass
bulge.
through, and the water gets high and it gets low. So we're stuck with language from our own perspective rather than language of what's actually happening.
Now, I've listened to this and I say to myself, what does that mean? And I listen to it again and then again and again, and I can't. But he then goes on to say something else. And I'm thinking it was that something else where is what we were supposed to listen to, more than the stuck with language from our own perspective. So listen what was said straight after.
It's simpler that way to say the water goes in and out. It's simpler to say the sun set rather than Earth rotated such that our angle of view on the stationary sun fell below our local horizon.
Right.
This is,
Yeah, sunset is far more poetic.
It sounds to me like it was just need to say we're spinning, we are spinning. All right, so that's what I'm getting out of this, because trying to find logic and common sense did have a play, and they both knocked off early. Said no, we're not having any of that. So let's carry on.
you go to the sunset tables,
Yeah.
to look this up. Let's look at just the Earth and the Moon for the moment.
Okay. Which
So
many people think that moon is what causes it.
No, the Moon is 2/3 of the tides.
Okay.
The Sun is 2/3, 3/4. Depends on the distance. The Sun has its own tides on the Earth. Wait, in fact, the tides that the Moon raises on Earth are the same.
Now, for anybody who thinks, you're just being difficult and you just everything that he says, I agree with Mr. Tyson coming up now. I agree with him.
No matter the phase.
Okay. No matter the phase of the moon, which
Yes.
there are some people believe that when you have a full moon, what you have is a higher tide because you have a fuller moon.
You do have a higher tide.
Oh, snap.
But the tide that the Moon raises on the Earth is basically the same, no matter its phase.
No matter its phase.
No matter what the phase of the moon is, it has the same amount of tidal pull. I agree. None whatsoever. We agree on something. I can't believe we found something that we agree on. Of course the moon has the same amount of tidal pull, no matter which phase it's in. None.
What happens at full moon is that the sun's tides add to the moon's tides precisely.
Oh, snap. We're talking about a tide assist from the sun.
I like the way he said that. A tide assist? Now we're talking about the full moon. The full. Sorry. What? Whoa. The full moon. Okay? We're talking about the full moon. Listen to what is said. Oh, sorry, Earth.
Assists, because the full moon, you got the moon here,
Right.
Earth, and the sun. Everybody lines up.
That's what it
In
is.
fact, we have a word for that.
Go ahead.
It has the most number of letters when scripted, dip below the line.
Okay.
I know that.
Now, I don't know. I heard about this, and it was only this morning. I heard them talk about this the other day, and I thought, what's that? What? I must have missed something. So I paid attention. It's a phrase that they use when three things are in line, approximately. Cosmic, like Earth, Moon, Sun. It's called a syzygy. A syzygy. When three things are a syzygy. I think, got a ring to it, I suppose.
It's a weird record to hold.
Right.
The word is syzygy. So syzygy is when three or more objects come into alignment in, cosmically.
Right.
So you have the moon, the Earth. The moon will have the same tide it would at any time,
Right.
but now it lines up with the sun.
Right.
They add together, you get the highest
Highest tide.
tides at full moon and new moon. So now I ask you, when would you get the lowest tide?
Now, see, it's speeding up. Now, how can you get the highest tide when it's moon, Earth, sun, and when it's Earth, moon, sun? The coincidence. If the moon has any effect on the water, it is not through gravity. But there is no arguing with one of these positions, and that is this, because they would both be working together, wouldn't they? The sun and moon would both be working together, and they would be trying to pinch that water, wouldn't they? Right? And that way. Right? So look, if it was gravitational, still massive questions are the bulge on the back, but common sense, it doesn't go this far because it's kind of stopped everything a bit earlier. Now let's go on to the full moon position. Now, how does it work? Why are we getting these high tides? If the moon is pulling that way, and the sun is pulling that way, where is the logic? Here we have them working together. We can see it, can't we? Woof. They are working together, both on the same side, pulling. But here, if they're both on the same side, that one, and they're in unison, how can they be in unison there? The moon would neutralize some of the suns, the sun would neutralize some of the moon, and Earth, with its six times gravitational pull of the moon, be laughing at the both of them. Yes? No? Of course they would. Of course it would. Now let's keep going.
When the sun is not lined up.
Okay. Let me quantify that. So when the sun is at 90 degrees,
Right.
the sun is pulling this way.
Now, I don't want to show faces and that, but this is what they say. You have to listen to this, okay? They say, like, the sun is pulling this way, right? But they put the line there as well. There, but there shouldn't be a line there because it's not pulling that way. And then they say, and the moon is pulling this way, and they put a line up and down. But those lines there and there shouldn't be there. It's down and towards the sun. It's just, the hand is a lot faster than the eye, right? Listen.
And the moon is pulling that way, and the two ways basically cancel.
Right? Get a little bulge here, right? There, 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 and there. And it says, and all the bulges, they just all cancel. Cancel? What on earth is... Well, cancel what? It would be like that, wouldn't it? Kind of that direction. I'm just saying. Let's carry on.
They try to cancel one of them. So you have the lowest tide. It's called the neap tide.
The neap?
Neap.
Neap tide.
Neap tide.
See,
Wait. So when people say, I feel the extra tidal forces from the moon when it's full, it's just bullshit.
Now that was the end.
What happens is there is a bulge of water.
I said stop.
Two of
Stop.
them on opposite sides of the Earth.
Right. Now, what we have, let me turn that right down. I think the batteries have finally got in the remote. I think they have as well. All right. Now, full moon, new moon, and the neap tide position. Common sense and logic comes screaming down the road. Has questions. Lots. June the 30th, right? The full moon position. We have 3 in the morning, 0.92. That is the low tide. At 8:35 in the morning, we have the first of the high tides, and it's 2.35 meters. At 21 minutes past 2 in the afternoon, we have the next low, which is lower, 0.72. And at 9 o'clock, we have the second high, and it is higher than the first. It is the highest of them, 3.02. Then we go, this one, it was 8 days. So we're going from the full moon all the way down to the third quarter, because that's what it would be. Now, 1:36 in the morning, the high tide is 2:54. Look, it's higher than the first of the high tides, the full moon. The neap tide position at 01:36 a.m. is higher than the first one, the first high tide of the full moon. But they say that the new and the full moon, it's the lowest as well, the highest and the lowest. 0.92, the first low, 0.9. That's lower. Let's just go to the next high, the second high. So we have one at 14:48, 2:49, 2 meters 49. The second one is 3 meters and 2. So that's what? Half a meter, 53 centimeters. That's how much higher the full moon tide was than the neap tide, the one where it's supposed to be really low tides. And then with the low, the second low is 0.72, and the second low in the third quarter is 1.28. So they get a win on that one. It's lower. But, what are we talking here? 50 centimeters? The difference between a new moon and the three-quarter moon, when it's supposed to be the one counteracting the other and neutralizing. Breathe. I just saw myself going bang like that, but really hard, and splinters everywhere. But the moon would probably come out and attack me. Yeah, leave the earth alone, bro, bro. They started to become buddies, haven't they? We go from number 2. Now we're going to go over to the new moon. So we just saw these ones. Now this is number 3. So we go from the third quarter to the new moon, when that moon disappears in our sky for 2 days. I wonder where it's gone. Right, let's have a look. First low, first of the tide, 0229 in the morning, 0.63. Right, so we're going to compare it to the first low of the third quarter, 0.9. So it's only 27 centimeters. This lower, the lowest of the low and the highest of the high of the new moon, 27 centimeters lower. Let's go for the high. 0816 a.m., 2:55, first high. Holy smokes, it was a photo finish. 2:54, 2:55. Everybody's looking, yes, okay. So the second high tide was 3:55, and the second one up there was 2:49. But that's 1.6 meters, isn't it? 1 meter and 6 centimeters. Right there. Is that something to be cheering about? The moon, 31,000 kilometers away. The difference between closest and furthest. Us orbiting the sun in an elliptical orbit, the moon doing its declination, the sun doing its declination. We've got phases and this and that and the other. And overall, we are going to believe the gravitational change between the full moon, the new moon, the third quarter, the first quarter. Here in Bundy, the highest is 355 and the lowest, I think, is 0.35. We're looking at 3 meters and 20 centimeters. That is the overall biggest difference between the highest and the lowest. And actually, I say that, there might be a 358 somewhere, or is it a 3.8? It might be the day after this, or look, something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now let's go from the new moon, which was fun. Did you know that when these are in line like this, it's a syzygy? I will put my 10 pence in, and I think, oh, please tell me that you've got both boards. Okay, yeah. I would put my 10 cents in that syzygy, and I will go for something like a Anybody? Bueller. Heartbreak Ridge? Sure, Clint Eastwood. A clusterfuck. Not a syzygy. A clusterfuck. Just my 10 cents. I think I'm allowed 10 cents at this stage of the game. Right. We are going from the new moon, the highest. Both of them gang up on the water of Earth. Now we're going over to the fourth quarter, July the 21st. Oh, I've got the dates. So June the 30th, then July the 8th, 14th, and now we're going to July the 21st. You can check on the tide charts. Now, what have we got? So we have the first of the highs at 0105 in the morning, 251. Because this is well lower now because of the positions that, you know. And the first low over here is, 255. Oh, God. I mean, the high, yeah, 255. It won, but 4 centimeters. Wow. Maybe that moon, I don't know. The first low, 0.95. Oh, it is lower, look, 0.63 by 32 centimeters. Bang. There. And one other thing in a minute, we'll get to that. The second of the highest, 1404, and we have the trump card again. Bang! 355. And that would be 37, 47, that's 18. So what, 118 higher. That's right, isn't it? A meter 18 higher. Do we need to play around with the second low? 0.35, 1.39. I don't think that even matters anymore. Look, common sense and logic all over it from the beginning. Don't let it out of the shed. I thought about doing this and not. Is it too in their face? Is it not? But you know what? I don't think it is. A whole team behind him, isn't he? Whole team, all the brains, all the PhDs and the. But the science is flawed. Seriously flawed. Now, it isn't about us. It's about the kids. And this is just one big joke. It's just one big joke. And it's all wrong. It is all wrong. Okay? There's a good chance they'll send nasty men to come and get me, won't they? That's what they do, isn't it? Well, just letting you know that. Just in case they do, we have this. Damn. Oh, it does go. It needs cleaning, it's rusty. Alright, I've got another plastic one over there as well. Look, what I'm saying is, I know how this stuff works. And go, see? I know exactly how this stuff works. What? Big deal, isn't it? How's this been taught for? How long? The moon. No gravitational pull on the water whatsoever. None. There is a very good chance the spinning thing just can't help themselves, can they? So why should I take it easy? It's common sense versus the science. I said science wouldn't get out of the gates. I don't think it should, but people will find their reasons. That's what happens. People don't listen to the facts. They ignore them when it suits. Well, you cannot ignore the facts. You can ignore the facts, but the longer the facts are ignored and the longer reality is ignored, the higher the price there will be to pay, because something has to give. As far as I'm concerned, I think I never thought I'd get this far. I'm happy. Doesn't matter what happens to me now. Cat's out of the bag. Wow, isn't it? Been a long road. I haven't changed anything of what I've said from the beginning. Anybody who's followed me, nothing has changed. Light is absolute. No such thing as a light year. Our eyesight takes things at a distance. We don't wait for photons. There are no photons. If light is going to reach somewhere, it is at the onset. Instant. Absolute. Doesn't take 8 minutes and 20 seconds to get here. What have they done to the fruit? Folks, I hope that is a wrap. I thought it might want to make a good exit as well. All right, folks, what are we looking at? 2921, semi-perfect. Just like the Earth's elliptical orbit around the sun. Something else is displacing the water on Earth, and I do believe it's coming from up north. Bay of Fundy, Ngava Bay, Bristol Channel, Cook Inlet, somewhere along there. All right, folks, laters.